Sitka, Alaska. I had to put my flannel on for this one because in this video, I'm sharing with you what to know before you get off the cruise ship at Sitka, Alaska port. And then let's talk about what's directly at the port because there's something you need to know, which is the shuttle if you're going downtown. Then let's talk about like the top things to do. And I'm gonna give you an example of an excursion that I did in case that's something that you wanna do. And then since you're going somewhere new to Sitka, let's talk about two pretty fun facts about Sitka. All of this and more coming up. And if you're new here, ahoy, I'm Christine Lozada. Book your Virgin Voyages cruise with us. We want to make sure you have the best time out there with the most helpful info and expert advice. And even if you're already booked, make sure you price compare with us. It's as quick as an email, a text message, fill out the form, call us up, whatever you want to do. Well, maybe not whatever, but we got you. Let's talk about the first thing you need to know, which is Sitka is a shuttle port. What's directly at the port isn't a whole lot. And so if you want to go check out the downtown, you need to take the shuttle because you're not a 5-minute walk from it. You're a 5-mile ride from the downtown area. If you want more info about how the shuttle works and how to take it, we have an entire video. You can check that out at the end where JC talks you through taking the shuttle. We got you. But the other helpful thing to know before you get off the ship, oh man, bring flannel, but bring your rain gear. In Sitka, it rains 230 days a year. That's a lot of freaking days of the year. So don't fight it. Just plan on it. Plan on getting rained on. I had an amazing kind of 1 in a million type of day at Sitka in which it was sunny and nice, but plan for rain during your excursion. And if you want some help thinking about this beyond the umbrella, poncho, waterproof jacket, waterproof bag, something to hold your phone that's waterproof, et cetera, I got you. There's a pack list. Most people miss all the helpful info that's in the description. So make sure you're being a smart traveler and making sure you're getting those free resources available to you. All right, you ready to go to the port? Let's jump over live at the port and I'll give you a little tour of what's over there. Ahoy from the port at Sitka. If I told you it was warm, I would be straight up lying to you. We got the ship at port and I just wanted to give you kind of a brief tour of what it looks like as soon as you get off because Sitka is a unique port in that the main things are about 5 miles away. So you have to take the shuttle. And what's helpful is that in the room, you'll get info about the shuttle schedule and you can book your shuttle. If you don't book it in advance, it's not the end of the world. It's more of like everyone who's getting off and wants to maximize their day. You're probably gonna wanna book that earlier shuttle. But you can go stand by, walk on anytime, but you only have to book it one way. On the way back, it's just first come, first serve. But let's do a quick tour of what you're seeing behind me. So as you walk out from the ship, one thing that's helpful to know is that you're coming straight out to this area. And there's a couple of things that are over here. One is all of these little like food pop-up places. We've got like popcorn, we've got like bread and butter. It looks like this one is some like little Alaska snacks over here. And then when you come over to the other side, you have this crab and chowder. So you have this restaurant that's over here with like a nice view of the water. So that's crab and chowder. And then as you move to this side, you have where the shuttle goes to. So this is where you can kind of see this red sign right here, shuttles. So you have shuttles that are taking you to the downtown area. JC actually booked his for 11 a.m. So he went kind of as soon as the ship was out. We docked at around 10 a.m. On this side, we have some stores, some clothing stores. We got some behind the scenes photos happening right here. And then we have a little coffee shop over here. One thing that's helpful to know is that if you've booked a shore thing, the pickup is right here, and that's actually fantastic because what that means is you do not have to go take the shuttle to go downtown. But we have an excursion happening today, and so the check-in was right over here. Everyone was holding signs. It was really easy to find, and we're about to check in to get on a boat. I can't wait to show you that in the next section. But one other thing that's helpful to know is everyone's always like, oh, do I need my passport when I get off of the ship? Bring your driver's license. Obviously, your wearable and your driver's license or your ID card. The sign over here says that you need to have your wearable as well as your ID to get back onto the ship. But I wouldn't be surprised if it was just the wearable. But in my opinion, you're an adult. You don't need to bring your passport. But you have all of these options here. And that's what you got at Sitka Sound at the cruise terminal here with Virgin Voyages. All right, so that's what there's to do directly at the port area and kind of what to expect. Ooh, and one other thing that's over there is that there are kayaks right there. I don't know how great the views would be right there, but that's an option available to you as well. And if you're getting some value out of this video, cheers that like button, consider subscribing, and let's help each other. Add a comment below if there are things you're researching that might help others, or if you're sailing Virgin Voyages. I would love to know when you're headed onto the ship. Drop that in the comments below as well. Let's talk about the two main things that people do in Sitka. From the downtown area, a lot of people do the Totem Trail. That's available to you. We'll walk through that downtown area at the end of this video. But the second thing is what I actually did. And people will do a combination of this, whether it's like the culture and the wildlife boat tour, or just the wildlife boat tour, or the wildlife boat tour plus some kind of eating thing. I did the latter, boat and eating. So we're gonna take you through what that experience was like. Let's head over there. All right, let's talk about the tour that I went on this afternoon, because I did a Virgin Voyages shore thing and we got a phenomenal day with dozens and dozens and dozens of otters. But we also had a really unique day all around with weather, etc. So I did what was called the Coastal Expedition and Finn Island Lodge Feast. It costs $285 per person. You do get a slight discount if you book it before you get on the ship. So I booked this months in advance when it had first opened to be able to book these different shore things. And although we arrived at the port at 10 a.m., we didn't get off of the ship until 1 p.m. because our tour was at 1:30. And for all shore things, they ask you to get there 15 minutes early. And what was great about this is that the tour was right off the cruise ship. So that made it just so simple. Again, most people are taking that shuttle, but we literally stepped right off the ship and then just found the group that was doing this tour because they were holding the sign. And so there are a couple things to know about this tour, and a few I honestly did not know what to expect, because the way it's described is you're basically on this small boat, which is with just a few other people. It's an open boat, and you're kind of touring around the sound. And then you're gonna go to Finn Lodge and eat, and then go back. So the way I kind of viewed it was more just like cruising around, but it was actually a really amazing tour where we got tons of information. Our tour guides, Jack and Namita, were amazing. They gave us so much helpful info about what we were looking at, and we saw a lot of wildlife, which is not guaranteed. We got to see, like, I'm not joking when I say dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of otters. We saw eagles and eagles' nests. We saw seals and sea lions. We got to see tons of starfish. It was just this phenomenal opportunity to see a lot of different kinds of wildlife. And it's also one of those things where it's like, depending on the time of year, like right now, at the end of May, bears are still in hibernation. And so we were not expecting to see any bears while we were out here, for example. But what I didn't expect is that when we had walked up, they're like, all right, let's suit up for rain gear. And again, we got incredibly lucky because there was no rain, and you could actually, it was cloudy, but you could see the sun, which was very, very unique. This is a place, Sitka gets lots and lots of rain. And so we just got this amazing day, and it was really unique how many otters that we got to see. So a lot of things were just really special. One thing I would definitely recommend is just watching the weather, because I could imagine, especially if it's cold outside and it's raining the entire time and you're outdoors, they provide to you a rain jacket that you put on over everything you're wearing. You are required to wear a life vest, and you're also given waterproof pants to go on top of your outfit. And on top of that, even if you're wearing normal gloves, they will give you another set of gloves. They almost felt like cooking gloves or like cleaning gloves to go on top of everything. Because depending on how many people are in the boat, and depending on like the conditions of the water is splashing you as you're going. So a top tip would be back of the bus, go sit at the back of the boat. And Captain Jack like immediately I was like, how do I not get wet? Because it's cold outside. And he was like, sit at the back. I was wearing so many layers. I think you can see how ridiculous I look. I'm not even trying to hide it. I looked ridiculous. I could barely turn left and right because I was wearing so many layers, but I'm glad it was because it was 43 feels like 36 while we were out there. And I was just thankful for all the layers. Plus I was using my hot hands, my heated electric hand warmers, the full Alaska pack list for cruise. Like that is in the description. Do not miss it. It's very helpful. But one thing I would recommend is wearing proper footwear because you might get wet. Having waterproof boots or like my shoes are lined in nice material so they keep my feet really warm. But making sure your feet stay dry is really important. It's helpful to know that you're not getting on and off the boat a ton. You get on, you're cruising around the sound, and then you do that we did it for about 2 hours before we got off at Finn Lodge. And over there, we spent about an hour and a half doing a prime rib and crab feast. And I was like, what do you mean by feast? Like, is it a single serving? I want to see how much crab they will give me. Because the way I describe eating crab is, it's not about like, are you hungry or not? It's like, let's eat as much crab as we possibly can. Oh, I was chowing down on crab for a very long time. I went up there 3 times and got more crab. It was absolutely delicious, but they did not limit you on that. The group before did drink the bar down. They literally only had rosé left, no beer, no white wine, no anything else really. So I drank a glass of rosé, which was nice. It came with 2 drinks. Almost no one in our big group was drinking. But one thing I didn't enjoy, because I want to be honest here, is that even though like this was so cool, so our small boat only had a few people, right? You can see that. And there were 3 other boats that went out at the same time. And all those 3 boats went a different route. So we were never running into each other. We truly felt like we were on the sound by ourselves exploring. That was really cool. But everyone came together at Finn Lodge at the same time. And so all 67 people were sat at the same time eating. So that means as soon as we got off our small boat, I was like, let's go to the bathroom first. Like, let's not wait in line for the bathroom. And as soon as we use the bathroom and washed our hands, we're like, get in line for food. And it just this part felt like the mass tour part. But it did feel special in the sense that afterwards, you know, they had built a campfire and there were s'mores and it was just really nice. We stood outside and kind of enjoyed really, really beautiful views before we got back on the boat and did the short 10-minute ride back to the ship. So this tour, like this is a tough one, right? If you got the day I got today, oh my gosh, like 10 out of 10. Highly recommend. I had an amazing time, amazing tour guides, amazing weather, amazing wildlife, and we just had this amazing day on the water. I was so stoked. Like Sitka to me now has like this special place in my heart. Like today was incredible. But if I came here and it was like a rainy, gross, freezing day, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I would recommend this. Like that's just a tough one to be able to suggest whether or not you do this. But I also think if you're down for the adventure, there's cool stuff out there. I don't know, like why not? Because the other thing is that Sitka, the downtown area, might not be like the most amazing adventure. So let's talk about that. So that was the tour that I was on, but there's actually one other thing that people will do at port, and that's like the Raptor Center. I'm gonna be totally honest. I didn't even ask. I overheard a conversation of people who did this and they didn't love it. So I'm gonna let you do your own research on that. I love being on boats and ships, so I wanted to do that. I enjoyed that day. It would have been a different experience if it was raining. But let's talk about that downtown area, because actually, you know what? Let's talk about how to get there first, which is the shuttle. So let's jump over and let's hear from JC. Also, you might need some motion sickness meds for watching his video clip. You've been warned.
The day before you get to Sitka, you're gonna get a notification in your room, piece of paper that's gonna say sign up for the shuttle. Because when you get to Sitka, to get to downtown Sitka, if you don't have a shore excursion, you're going to have to sign up for a time to get onto the shuttle. So I did that yesterday, signed up for 11 a.m. Simply easy to get off the ship right here, walk into this little area. You'll see some excursions being sold. It could be a busy area right here. There's some shops and some food options that are right here as soon as you get off the ship. Then you're going to get to the shuttle to downtown. And as you can see here, it can get pretty busy. So they have a bunch of lines right here. as well as a screen that tells you what time the shuttles are going to run for the ship. And that screen's right here. See there, 2 ships in, Brilliant Lady, Viking, ship arrived at 10, we said 5. So kind of give you the times right there. Pick up the shuttle easily right here. No one in line because it's later in the afternoon. Shuttle's really simple to get downtown. It's like 10-minute ride. They give you some information. So definitely make sure that you do sign up for your shuttle time.
So what's there to actually see in the downtown area? Not a ton, but it is worth checking out, especially if you don't have an excursion. Get off the ship and go explore. A couple things that people tend to do. They'll go check out that totem pole trail. The other thing is the Science Center. That's another thing that's down there. And then one place where you'll hear a fun fact about this one later is Castle Hill, because something historical happened here. But these are just some of the views of what you can expect to see if you head to the downtown area of Sitka. And one of the things that I put together is a Google map of some of the top places that people will go to grab a coffee or have something to eat or check something out that you can go to while walking around that downtown area. So that info, the pack list, book your cruise with us, be a smart traveler, all of those things, that info is in the description. Most people miss it. Or just jump onto the email list. That's one of the best ways to make sure you're not missing a thing, because I put out a lot of content. All right, let's talk about 2 fun facts about Sitka, Alaska. The largest city in the US by area. Ooh, what does that mean? That means that Sitka is the largest city in the US by land area. It's 2,870 square miles, and that's 5 times the size of Phoenix. But most of that area is primarily rainforest and water. This second fun fact is an interesting one. Sitka is where Alaska became American. In the 1860s, America bought Alaska from Russia, and they bought it for $7.2 million. That's pretty amazing. So the flag changing ceremony happened at that place I talked about in downtown, in Castle Hill. So that's why, if you're a history buff, you might want to go check out that spot. Whew, Sitka. Sitka is just otters and goodness in my heart. That weather I got really made my trip. I hope you get amazing weather in Sitka. Tell me in the comments below when you're headed there. I'm Christine Lozada. Be a smart traveler. There's so much info in the description, and this video is part of a humongous video series that will help you to have a great time on your trip. And I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.